Sorry about that. I was always acting odd lately. I don't know what it is. But anyways, someone at one point had said that the altars were killed. And I thought that too at first, but they weren't. I think it's just a symbolical thing, and at the end we see that they left off with all of them in the back of the truck. So I do believe they still were alive. And she's going off to therapy at the very end, which is for the best. And there was times when I was like, this is gonna be crappy. This is really sucks. Like, she's getting put down so many times, and it was sad to see how people treated her when she wasn't the one that was abused. It was just something she dealt with, and she was the one that was actually sexually molested, and it felt like nobody really cared about that, and nobody put the blame where it was supposed to be. I did like that they had her sister actually spit on the grave for the brother. I thought that was very good symbolically. At times I did not like the sister, but I do understand that it was more realistic. It really felt realistic because, you're never going to have 100% great times with your sister. So a love and hate type relationship, but in the end, they still did care. So I liked how they wrapped it up. I do think that, they did realize, must have been, that they were not going to be able to keep it. But I don't think they had that intention. I think that they actually were fixing, they could have had an extra one because they were actually going to be going to the therapy place, and they could have had her more delve into things, but we did see a lot of reasons why she acted like she did. And the main thing I don't like about the mental health thing is that everybody always paints the victims as bad, and the monsters, molesters, and all of them as they don't even get acknowledged, granted, a lot of times, but it's worse that they shun, and people call children who've been molested monsters or narcissistic, and they're not. They're just victims, and they're hurting, and people don't see the magnitude that it can do. And yeah, for people that think that this was just to put on, no, there probably are extreme cases like that. Just because a lot of the people on YouTube, with their little switching and altars, they control it and it's so perfect. And they're cutesy, That's not everything. That's not everybody. And it's not all of our altars. And I'm sure half of them are not even showing you all of their real actual altars. They're just showing you the cute ones that they wouldn't be embarrassed showing. Because realistically, come on, if you're molested, you're going to have the persecutor inside of you. You're going to have that one, that altar that had to take on all the bullshit as a child. Her 5-year-old self was always so scared. And it made me really sad because that child would always run away. And all that child needed was love and comfort from somebody else. And it was still scared, You could almost see that fear. And that's the same fear that my husband saw in my own eyes, It's that type of fear that from when you are molested, and over again, it's that way. And you're going to create some barrier to protect yourself. And these altars are our best friends. They protected us when nobody else would. And they were there that whole time. And they saw what we saw. They saw what we couldn't allow ourselves to consciously see. We had to push it away in the back of our minds, into our subconscious, and just throw away the key and give it to these other parts of ourselves that are us, but yet not, And, at first I went into this, oddly enough, thinking I was going to hate it like all the other DID people. But I was after I watched the first episode, I was like, what the heck? That person's totally I mean, I don't see what they were seeing. I didn't see how the husband was bad. I honestly think that also the husband was very supportive throughout the whole thing. There was one time when he cheated, and I was not happy about that, but they did make up and he never did it again. So I was like, okay, you know, and she was right. She had herself had cheated too all the time, so she was like, at least she owned up, you know. And she's like, how am I supposed to, how, who am I to blame you? You know, I was just, I forget the exact quote she used, but it was so perfect. And she was like, she understood exactly. But then an alter came out, Buck, who had a thing for the female that he cheated with, and like beat the crap out of him. So it was like, okay. She had just sat there and forgiven him all night and cuddled with him. And then the other alter came out and was pissed because it felt like betrayed because it had been his, like, and it's like a part of her didn't like that she kept getting up in the middle of the night and going out and being with this other female. And I think it was like a couple week fling or something. It was a while. And the whole time, you know, she kept it hidden because she didn't want everybody knowing she had relapsed. And she was hopeful that she could stop it, but every time she'd wake up in this other person's bedroom and be way away from her own home. And, you know, I just, thankfully, I don't really 100% know that feeling. I've never really woken up in a place that I didn't know. So most of mine, I do believe, are more co-conscious. And another thing is that I think that with healing, I think we start to allow ourselves to go there. And I'm wondering if that's why I didn't, for most of my life, I didn't even remember things. And lately, I've been more getting things out of me, and I've been more seeing other sides of myself I didn't even remember. And it's like, it's so surreal, but I think it's because part of me is getting stronger emotionally. I normally would have been hospitalized. Um, I've been hospitalized like four or five times throughout my life, so it's been a long time, a lot of times, for suicide, always. And and this last time when I did drink, I still didn't overdose on pills and I didn't do anything, you know. So myself, I'm like stronger, but yet then another side to me came out. Instead of me being suicidal, I was this party crazed person with fears, you know. I'd switch from fear to party to fear to party all night long. That's what my husband said. You guys didn't see the parts where I was like showing my fear. I didn't even have my camera at the time. Like I had already filled up all the other video space, so I couldn't record more. Or else I might have. I don't think in my frame of mind. I was in a little child's frame of mind at the time, I believe. So I'm thinking that's why I didn't record at the time. My husband also said at one point I was sucking my thumb, and you know, because I think I was reverting back to my childhood, and that was where I felt safest. So I think that's what happened, and then I would snap out of it, and then I go right on to the next thing. Like that's what switching is, though. So if you watch my videos, you will notice like my personality change in and out a lot, and I go from getting upset at somebody to like easy going and stuff like that. That's switching. So they're more than likely like multiple different altars in one night. And you know, so I realized that about myself, and it's better when you can record it and see things and it's more real. Like that's not one of those put-ons. I didn't even know I was doing that for myself at all. And that's how I know it's real, because real things are not going to be necessarily as ostentatious as like in the Hollywood movies, but they can be frightening still. So those people that say that you don't have a fearful, scary side inside of you, yeah, you do. If you've been traumatized, depending on the severity and level, you will have something so scary inside of you that you don't even want people to know. And that's why it's hidden. It's hidden from you, and it's hidden from everybody in the world. That's what DID does. It helps you to survive. It helps you to move on from those horrific times, and that's what I did. That's what all of us do that have dissociative identity. And apparently when you're a child, you're born with a full personality, but if something traumatic happens, it can split and fracture your whole personality. So basically little pieces of yourself. So it's not like multiples. That's why they changed the name. It's not multiples personality. It's not like you have a bunch of personalities. You don't even have a full personality. It's like less than a personality. So that's why they felt that was misleading, because instead of it being a full one, you don't even have that. So you don't have tons of personalities. You have fractures of a personality, and that's why sometimes you don't even feel like you have an identity. And I haven't. A lot of my teen years, teens are hard as it is, and I had to go through the loss of my only blood brother when I was growing up, when I was only 12 years old. So I was bullied in school too, and I've been raped multiple times in my adult years, and molested and beaten, and God knows how many guys I've been with when I was a kid. So I know all of that hurt and pain, but I don't know it consciously, thank God, because if I did, I wouldn't be normal. I would be somewhere locked up, because I wouldn't function. And I think my body knew that, my mind knew that, and so it created this for me. And in order to heal, you have to bring all of them together. And I don't even know if I want to. Part of me does. I always do. I always want to remember, but yet another part of me doesn't. It's scared to bring out that girl I was. And if my husband's acting like I had such a horrific face and expression on my face that he's never seen before, I'm scared to know what I was even seeing. I honestly, I am, and I know consciously some things, in my head, I don't remember the feelings or any of that stuff, because that's part of dissociation. And I do blank out sometimes. I have a lot of dissociation issues. I didn't know that's what it was called growing up. So, where you just lost in some la la land, and you could be doing it, just having some odd thought, and then a whole hour gone by. I've done that so many times, and I always thought it was just daydreaming. I just always thought it was normal, and so I didn't ever think I had anything. Part of me kind of felt connected to Sybil a little bit, and that's what sparked my interest in this disorder, because I could kind of relate with the abuse thing, and with feeling so scared of certain people, and her forgetfulness. I've never been able to fully remember, and she had issues remembering things as well, and that's kind of what drew me to wonder about, and I always was interested in hypnosis as a therapy. So that's what drew me to that. But yeah, little movies like this, or series, or whatever, Hollywood does dramatize it, but there are things that they do say in it that you can relate with, and that's what I take out of things like that. I really think that it is a good thing. At least it's bringing it out, and it is trying to delve into the mind, and trying to realize that is going to take a lot of therapy. And that's what she realized at the end, that she's really going to have to do some real deep diving into herself, and that a place, an institution, is maybe what she needed. And one day maybe I'll realize that about myself. I don't know. I'm going to hope that this therapist can help me, but some people I think are way too damaged, and regular therapists that even say they have some kind of experience with DID might not be enough.
Be careful, honey.
But
you might be opening Pandora's box.
Yeah, I do believe I am opening Pandora's box. Charmaine, I did kind of liked and I didn't like. At first, I didn't like her because I thought she was a hoe and trying to steal her sister's man. But then I realized that's just the way she was. So I do like how it developed her over time. I didn't like at the end how at first she was kind of scared of her sister, but I did understand after a while that she just was wanting to protect her child. So, her little infant, and she was scared that one of the altars would hurt her infant. So I was like, okay. And eventually they got over that, and at the very end they still had that sisterly bond. So I really liked that, and so I must say I have changed my opinion on her. She's just a very eccentric person, kind of like some of Tara's altars, though. So if you like those wild, crazy type characters, and you're not afraid to just see the stereotype of Hollywood, then I would advise it. I think it's going there. It's not 100% there, but these are TV series people, and a lot of them are just they're trying to just bring it out as entertainment. Hollywood doesn't always do actual causes, It's not always a place for that. I think it's more of entertainment. People want to see the wildic stuff, They don't want to see basic people, But I think that some people are that eccentric. And I do believe that there's cases of all kinds. I don't think we should label things one way or the other. I don't think we should say it's too overly the edge one way or too over the edge the other way. I think some things just are in the middle, or they can be wild, or they might not be as wild. It's okay for any of it, And I think if we accept each other and we accept the ways we are, then we'll get closer to our goal. And I hope that you like this review. I give it 2 thumbs up. I think it was really fun to watch, and I didn't try to take it too personal, but I did feel triggered at times, so beware. And if you like that kind of stuff, get at it. But yeah, this is me signing off.